of their faces and opened their eyes, before being shocked at what they saw. They were now standing. The room had grown considerably, and all the furniture was against the walls, and in front of each of them was their promised monster. A Stygian Zinogre stood about 5 feet away from Ruby. A tidal Majorawa was coiled up an equal distance away from Coco. A Lunasa sat elegantly in front of Cinder, and so on. They're here. They're really here. Ruby said excitedly, her friends and family also looking eager to go forward and meet their new partners as well, but holding themselves together just a bit better. Come on, Zinogre. Come on. Ruby encouraged the Hellwolf wyvern. The mighty beast barked happily and rushed forward, bowling Ruby over and looking all over her face, much to her enjoyment. Ah, yeah. I got my thunder pony. Nora cheered, rushing forward and leaping towards her new friend, hugging it around the neck and easily dangling onto the floor from there. Truly amazing. Ironwood said, taking a step towards the Betelgeuse he aimed to make his own, which suddenly rushed forward and knocked him down. It then stood over him, glaring into his eyes. General, Winter said worriedly. However, before she could do anything, the creature also began to lick Ironwood's face, almost acting like as much of a dog as the Zinogre. Thank goodness. She sighed in relief. That was definitely unexpected. Neo said. Speaking of unexpected, Blake started. The beasts were all impressive, still easily 3 the size of their human counterparts, but something was off. Aren't all the monsters a lot smaller than what we saw from them before? Blake asked. Velvet Ceregios didn't stand much taller than their ears, while being coiled made it difficult to tell. We rough estimates, she deduced that Coco's Majorawa even was only 30 feet long. I put a spell on them. They're travel-sized for your convenience. And they can shrink and grow to the most agreeable size for them depending on whatever room they're in and how much space is available. Katana explained. You'll even notice. She continued, before reclining was suddenly summoned behind Crow, and its footrest suddenly kicked out, hitting the back of his legs and causing him to fall back into a chair. Once he did so, his Odagara leapt towards him, visibly shrinking in the air until it landed in his lap, not much larger than a medium-sized dog. They can shrink to fit in your lap or in your bed with you. And yes, Ruby, he can become small enough so that he and Zwei can fit in your lap or bed together, Katana declared. Sensational. Penny said happily as she was laying on her Valstrax's back and rubbing the back of its neck and its chin. Then, what about when we go out somewhere into the field? John asked. Katana suddenly made a door appear behind John. Go through it. And take your Glavenus with you. She told him. Oh, okay. Come on, big guy. John said, a bit intimidated, but still super excited about having a T-Rex with a flaming sword tail following him. So, he walked to the door and opened it, revealing a desert-looking place. However, no sooner had the Glavenus cleared the doorway did it change into its full 70-foot-long self. I'm above. That is awesome. He cried out. The two were then drawn back in, and the Glavenus was reduced for 70 wide to 17 feet. Ren had now confronted his Mizunsa and began to pet its head, before it nestled up to him a bit in affection. This is incredible, Katana. Thank you, he said. She smiled warmly and nodded. Well, you all take this time to give your monsters names and bond with them. I have big plans with some friends. Katana said, a new door suddenly being created. But wait. I doubt they'll attack us, but shouldn't we still have someone supervising in case the monsters get out of hand? Weiss, popping out of a snow mound, her new Gamma, playfully housed over her with its trunk. Don't worry, I'm leaving you in very capable hands. Katana said, holding her hands out to the sides. Suddenly, 2 human-shaped figures of light appeared, the light fading, to reveal them. They were both around Yang's height with fair skin, close to, but slightly brighter than Katana's paler skin, almost resembling the Schnee sisters. They also both had similar face and body shapes to Katana's, although not quite as developed. The one to the left had smooth, shoulder-length hair, 5'2", and a similar blue to Katana's with equally similar red eyes. But her most distinguishing features were a set of brutal-looking scars, a set of claw marks over her right eye, 19, and a cross-like scar on her left cheek, 18. She wore tough-looking armor with black hide and golden fur on it, but it also left quite a few vulnerable areas open, such as the thighs, a small, but still noticeable heart-shaped spot in the stomach area. Then, while nowhere near as revealed visually, the armor did allow for a decent view of the girl's chest. The alpha set of the curious were John. The one to the right had shorter, longer lavender hair, 23-2, with somewhat darker red eyes. Rather than scars, her defining feature was makeup and tattoos, a light blue, almost icy-looking lipstick, 11, and eyeshadow, 6, contrasting, yet also somehow complementing her hair and eyes, as well as a strange symbol between her eyes, 21, and large whisker-like marks around her jawline, 24. She wore armor that looked rather intimidating, very spiky with a mix of black and orange, except for the helmet, which was black and purple with a pair of horns facing forward. And while it looked like everything that was covered would be well protected, it still revealed the same areas as the other girl's armor. This was Ruiner-Nergigant armor, mostly alpha, but with the beta helmet. The first girl looked like she was supposed to be holding some kind of weapon as she dropped down a few feet from the air. Judge this, horn head. She declared as she swung down with her weapon that wasn't there, much to her confusion. What the? She said, looking around, before spotting Katana and groaning. Move. I was just about to take down an Elatrian. All the guys at the guild would be fawning over me. The girl complained. The other girl, meanwhile, held her head and looked dizzy. Oh, my gods, no. She cried out, coming back to her senses, her hands flying to her, as she turned around fearfully. She then looked around in surprise, but also relief when she saw she was out of whatever danger she thought she was in. Phew. Thanks, Mom. I was almost about to take a black Diablo's horn where the sun doesn't shine, she said with a shudder. Mom. Everyone cried out in shock. They knew Katana was indeed a mother, but they never expected to actually meet her progeny. Or at least, before she sent them to Beacon, if that was still her plan. Katana rolled her eyes at both daughters. Well, good then. Because I don't want guys fawning over you until you are old enough to drink, young lady. And neither of you would have to worry about taking hits where the sun doesn't shine if you wore armor that covered everything. The mother said disapprovingly. The starved daughter raised a brow. Is this coming from the woman who has slits in her dress, so high nothing is left to the imagination? She asked. Don't you souse me. Katana warned her, before turning back to her guests. So, everyone. These are my daughters. Razara, she introduced her daughters, first pointing out the blue-haired girl, who flipped her head in greeting. And Teko. She introduced the other daughter, who smiled happily and winked. Teko? You mean like ninja brass necklace? Blake asked. Yeah, huh? The lavender-haired girl confirmed. And Razara. Like Razor? Is everyone in your family named after weapons? Emerald asked as she played music to make her Malfestio sway to it. Either first or middle name, yes. Katana confirmed, before turning to her daughters. Well, I have some business to handle, so you two watch over them and make sure their monsters don't eat them or each other. And hopefully, if you do a good job, we can get you into Beacon on a scholarship. She told the girls, before creating a new door and walking through it. So, I'm gonna guess you're Vegeta's kid? Crow asked Razara. She raised a brow at this. Why? Because I'm really Virginia. That's way too on the nose. No, my dad is but he doesn't even know Mom Happily. Rosara explained. Yeah. I'm Vegeta's kid. Teko declared. Thank you for clearing that up, Winter said as she observed Chrysanthemums. Wicked scars, though. How'd you get them? Yang asked Rosara. The claws marks are from an adopter. The crosscut is from a nursery. The scarred girl explained. A what? Neo asked. You'll probably see it soon enough, Rosara said. But enough about us. You guys get to know your new furry and her scaly friends, Teko told them. Everyone began to pet and play with their monsters. Ruby's Stygian was now laying on its back and full-sized as Ruby sat on its chest and scratched its belly. Oh, do you like that? Yes, you do. Who's a good boy? It's you, Ruby declared as she scratched just the right spot to make the wolf-like dragon to start moving its leg along with the scratching. I was gonna call you Dre, but Yang was right, you deserve something more awesome. How about Crimson? Ruby asked. The beast held happily at this, sticking its tongue out and panting. Oh, he likes it, Ruby said happily, before looking to Spy. What do you think, Spy? She asked her original pet. Spy growled a bit at this, before Crimson shrank down to his size and began licking Spy's forehead, prompting the two to play together. Yay! They're already friends, she said happily. Cinder stroked the fur of her Lunastra and felt the heat radiating from its body. So beautiful. So majestic. But also so powerful. We're going to get along just fine. And together, I'll be the most famous and admired huntress ever with you as my mighty partner. Everyone will cheer our names, she declared, a bit of her egomaniac persona returning. Thankfully, her new elder dragon shut that down rather quickly, biting onto the back of her dress collar and pulling her in close, before starting to lick Cinder's face and the rest of her body, giving her a bath like a lioness would to their own offspring. Cinder. She thinks you're her cub, Neo said sweetly as she swung on a swing made of silk coming from Onolka's abdomen. This is fun, Ken. Swing me higher, Neo said happily, the golden mantis happily complying with her request. That is so sweet. Ruby gushed over the sight. Well, I'm not her cub MMPH. I'm her master MMPH. And she shall obey me MMPH. And stop treating me like a baby MMPH. Cinder tried to protest her current predicament, but it seemed to be doing little to her new pet. Luna, I demand MMPH. You stop this at OnWow. My mouth was open that time, she complained as she accidentally swapped spit with the dragon. Luna, that's the most effort you went to? Young questioned. Sometimes, the simplest answer is the best, Cinder said matter-of-factly, a tone that was quickly ruined as her monster passed its tongue over once again, leaving her wet hair messily in front of her face. Yang herself, meanwhile, was wrestling with her new Rajang, the two appearing to be evenly matched as they locked hands and tried to push each other back. Yeah. You're gonna be one awesome sparring partner, Raiden, she declared, both of them powering up and tackling each other again. This is amazing. Keep it up, Mesmeralda. Emerald cheered as she played music that made both her monster and Pyrrha's Nursilla to dance. You're doing amazing, Arachne. I had no idea spiders danced, Pyrrha said, amazed she watched her spider-like monster move to the rhythm. Ren, meanwhile, was crouched down behind the couch, with Zutson on the other side of the room. He peered around the couch to see it a good 50 feet away at least. He went back around behind the couch and waited a second, before peering around again to see that the Leviathan was getting closer, now only 35 feet away. However, as soon as he looked at it, it had stopped moving. He went behind the couch again for a few seconds, before seeing the creature even closer, a mere 30 feet away. He repeated this process, hoping to catch it in the act as it approached him, but each time he was seconds too late, and the creature was that much closer to him. The last time he peered around the corner, her face to face, the bubble pops widened. The creature let out a happy noise and coiled around him, which covered him in its soapy secretion. It then peered down at him and fired a lighter version of its water beam down on him, like a power massage setting on a shower head, so the creature was both cuddling its master and giving him a bath. Well, that is literal good, clean fun. Thank you for that, Sakurai. Rin said, petting her. John's Glavinus looked at him awkwardly at first, before spotting his sword at his hip, as Katana had allowed them their weapons back after the day of watching the Avengers up to Winter Soldier. It noticed the sword and wagged its tail a bit, before gesturing its head to Yun and Raiden as they sparred. Perhaps unsurprisingly, John had gotten much better at picking up subtle to obvious signs or gestures. Oh, you want to spar, too, huh? He asked, drawing his weapon. The Glavinus roared in agreement. Alright, then. Bring it, he declared. The two had an almost Shakespearean acted duel, John ducking, rolling or blocking Glavinus attacks, while the beast shrugged off John's sword taps. Finally, the blonde knight thrust it upward, his sword passing through the empty space between its arm and body, but the beast roared its false death throes as if it actually had been impaled, falling to its side. Yes. I, Sir John, vanquished this mighty beast, he declared, putting a foot on its side proudly, before the Glavinus rolled back so its feet were under it, but staying laid down and resting with John's lower body pinned under its head. No. Guillotine. John pleaded. Yeah, Sigrun. Yeah. We will fight for the glory of Asgard. Nora declared as she rode atop her Kirin and holding Magnhild into the air as Sigrun reared onto her hind legs and caused a bolt of lightning to strike down on them, which Nora absorbed. Coco ran her hand along both the plates and skin of her Najarala, finding both of them incredibly smooth. Oh, man, Naga. Your skin is so smooth and cool. It's like the ultimate snakeskin blanket, she said. The creature nuzzled her, before shrinking down enough to wrap around her neck like a scarf. Nice. A companion and a fashion statement, she said approvingly. Okay, quick shot. Target practice, Delva declared, holding up pictures of Team CRDL, which the Ceregios hissed at and fired scales at, expertly piercing the pictures while not coming anywhere near Velvet. Good boy, she said happily, petting his head. Weiss was now riding on her Daniel, who charged forward at a line of ice sculptures Weiss had created in the images of the White Fanged Lieutenant, Albatross, and Mercury. Yes. Go, Delta. Charge down all our enemies. And together we'll be unstoppable, Weiss declared as the fanged beast trumpeted. Blake and her Nargacuga were also enjoying a large number of fish. I think we're gonna get along just fine, Sierra, Blake told her. Unfortunately, her new pet soon ran out of fish and swiped Blake's last 3 and quickly ate them before she could do anything. But we're also gonna have to establish some ground rules. She growled angrily as the Nargacuga could only gulp at its mistake. Glinda placed her hand upon her abyssal Lagiacris. I think I'll call you Kaiser. And together, we'll ensure the students stay in top form and on their best behavior, she stated. The Lagiacris looked down at her and got a smirk as it released a bit of electricity into the air. Not enough to harm anyone, but all the girls and Rand would soon notice their hair starting to rise up and stand on end. Oh, lovely. A prankster. So much for keeping the students in line if I can't even make my own pet behave, she groaned. Above the group, Penny and her Volstrax were flying around at high speeds, clearly racing each other, but due to the shortage of space, they couldn't several tricks, each one rewarded with a juicy steak. That's a good boy. I think I'm gonna call you Alman. Because it's gonna be a good sign for me and my friends when you show up. And you're gonna be real bad luck for Salem and the Grimm. He told the Odogaron. Ashvin sighed in content as he sat and relaxed between his Kusala's front legs, leaning back against the beast and enjoying the cool air from its wind aura. Ozymandias, you are truly the greatest gift I ever received in all my lifetimes since I was first brought back. Ashvin told the metallic monster, feeling the breeze on his face. Winter paced back and forth in front of her new Zentrios. Now, Gladius, if we are to be partners, we must understand one thing. You will not be entering the inflated ball now during combat. Not only is it highly impractical and puts you at greater risk, but it also is completely foolish and unbecoming. So, let's get it out of the way right now. You will not fight as an oversized beach ball. Understood? Winter asked. Gladius simply tilted his head to the side, before doing exactly what Winter told him not to do and inflating. No. If you have to take any alternate form in combat, it should be your ice armor, not a silly inflating trick. Change back right now. Winter ordered. Gladius simply growled at this, before launching into the air and flopping down on top of Winter. No. This is the exact opposite of what I said. She cried out. The creature then deflated and simply stood over her, before licking her face. I suppose if it makes you happy, then I'll allow it. She said, to which he gave her 2 more small, but quick licks. And finally, Ironwood was training his new seething Betelgeuse similar to Crow, but far more strict with the treats. Alright, Stratus, sit. He ordered, the creature falling back onto its haunches. Good. Now lay down. He instructed, the living bomber plane laying the rest of its body onto the ground. Very nice. Now up. He continued, the beast standing up on his feet. Excellent. 1 more. Into the air. He said, the beast leaping, flapping, and holding its wings out to stay aloft for a few moments. Well done. Here you go. Ironwood said, tossing the monster a steak like Crow did. It quickly scarfed down its treat, before rushing forward and knocking over Ironwood again, nuzzling his head and chest. We'll have to work on your enthusiasm, he declared. From there, both the remnant crew and the monsters began to get used to their new partners and calm down, cuddling up to the creatures they'd been given and showing them love and affection. The 2 sisters watched from a distance, Teko smiling, while Razara seemed indifferent. Ah, how sweet. Their first monsters. Isn't it beautiful, sis? Teko asked happily, leaping onto her sister and wrapping her arms around her neck. Watch the spikes on that armor of yours, brat. Razara snapped, pushing her sister back a bit. She then sighed, before a light smile graced her features as well. But, yeah. It is pretty nice. Takes me back to when we got our monsters. She agreed as they looked at pictures of themselves at around 5 years old, Razara with a newborn Varia and Teko with a baby Legiana. Yeah. Good times. Teko agreed. I wonder what Mom's up to, though. She wondered, before they looked back to the door Katana went through. The hostess walked through the door and closed it behind her, turning around and walking up to a round table where several of her friends and fellow dimensional travelers were seated at. Directly across from her was Lexia Skygard, the one who had shown them the Blade movies and Incredibles, as well as organizing Glinda's adoption of Nora and the shipping between Blade and Emerald. To her right was Orion, Katana's guest for the Avengers, who had helped explain quite a few of her customs and histories, as well as bonus facts from the movie. To his right on Katana's left was Vane Bloodborne, the friend who had arrived in an alternate timeline and helped the group see the Incredible Hulk, whereas Katana passed over it. To To Katana's right was Jericho, who had shown up after Iron Man 2 to show Crow, and later on, the rest of the remnant crew the best music Earth had to offer. And to his right and Lex's left was one final person. He was perhaps the most unique out of all of them. And considering the fact they were all demons or deities, that was quite the feat. He appeared to be some kind of humanoid lemur, covered in fur with a long ringed tail, a mostly human face with a wide crescent grin from ear to ear and a strange nose and with pointed ears. His fur was pure white, including his head, with his face, eyebrows and furless forearms and crest being lavender. His eyes are pale yellow with a faint glow and cat-like pupils, a small light blue monkey-like nose and purple rings on his tail. This was Chesser, the self-proclaimed master of reality, who had helped Katana by telepathically helped Katana with her decisions on the monster choices. Well, everyone. Thank you for attending this meeting, Katana said. No problem. Always good to see a friend. Orion declared simply. Yeah, you always manage to spice things up, despite being one of the coolest creatures in the multiverse. Chesser stated. It's the least we could do after you gave the RWBY crew their monsters. They all look so happy now, especially Cinder, Leo, and Emerald. They may not be my daughters in your timeline, but I still want what's best for them. So thank you, Katana. Lex said. Don't mention it. Katana started, then smirked. Delphox. She said. Oh, that's it, frozen. Boot to the head. Lex declared, summoning a huge number of boots in midair, and sent them flying at Katana, who created ice boots and sent them flying at Lexus as well. So, not that this isn't fun, but why exactly are we here, then? Vane asked as he dodged or deflected several boots. Yeah, it's fun to pop in every so often, but if we're not doing stuff with the RWBY crew, there's not much reason for us to be here. Jericho agreed. That's exactly it, Jericho. It's prank time. We're gonna be messing with the RWBY crew that isn't here. Namely, Salem and her faction of fuck-ups, that overpaid a-hole, Jock, Raven, and that stupid bandit tribe she cares about more than her own family, and, if we have time, maybe Cardin. Katana explained. Chesso laughed at this. Oh, yes. I can see it now. I will ruin Jacques Schnee's entire life. All Schnee dust manufactured plants and factors on remnants will explode, with or without the staff still inside. And I'll make the entire Schnee fortune and stocks disappear, reducing him and his family to poverty. He declared maniacally. Everyone else in the room was shocked at this. Geez, dude. Calm down. Lex said. Yeah, him and his family, who are all just victims to him. He's the only one we're here to punish, not the rest. Vane pointed out. What if we sent a Fatalis or Devojo to wreck Salem's fortress? That'll set her plans back a bit. Jericho pointed out. Good, but what stops Salem from just recreating them as Grimm? We've seen Grimm that can shoot acid and lightning from their mouths, so fire shouldn't be too far-fetched. Katana stated, which was met with numbers of take-backs, like, oh, yeah, good point. Well, I don't know anything about these monsters, so I'm out. Orion said with a shrug. Katana thought for a moment, before smirking. Don't worry. I just got a plan. She stated, telling the rest of them her plan as they all laughed at the misfortune they were about to cause the deserving parties. Salem, Tyrion, Hazel, and Bob all sat around Salem's giant meeting room. Cinder should be reporting in soon. Salem stated, Your Grace, with all due respect, I believe you did that whole rockstar far too much credit. I doubt she can handle a job like this. What said arrogantly. She's the only other female in our organization. And even if we were all women, she's the only one young enough to receive the maiden powers. Hazel reminded them. She may be the one who will inherit the maiden powers, but she will never be the goddess she wishes to be. that our queen is," Tyrion said like the crazed fanatic he is. "Rest assured, my chosen, Cinder will complete her task. Because she knows if she fails, she will face my wrath," Salem declared. Suddenly, a commotion could be heard just outside the doors. "What the devil?" Watts asked as he approached the doors, about to open them, before they were suddenly thrust open into him, knocking him down. He attempted to get out, but he only managed to sit out, before a giant red ball rolled over him and knocked him back down. 2 more red balls rolled in, followed by a pair of giant pink gorillas. Tyrion rushed in at one of the balls and lashed out with his weapons and tail, but they all bounced off the ball, which unfurled into an unholy cross between a bear and an armadillo. The creature managed to pin him down, and began biting him, as well as licking his face. The other 2 unfurled, and began unleashing a strange, foul-smelling gas from several pores on their backs. One of the gorillas rushed in at Hazel. He tried to punch it, only for it to inflate its stomach and make his fist bounce off, before it struck at him with its claws, knocking him down. It also then began to release gas, but from a more obvious area. Finally, the last gorilla leapt onto Salem's giant table and rushed at her, with a strange device flinging mushrooms forward, which the beast frantically ate. She attempted to shoot fire at this creature, but it leapt over the stream of flames, eating a yellow mushroom, a parashroom. It then released its own breath of yellow gas, which caused Salem to stiffen and twitch from the scent, almost like she was somehow being electrocuted. She could only glare up at the creature and convulse, before she noticed a large, brown wad appearing behind the creature that she could smell the stench coming from at her distance of a good few feet away still. It then wrapped its tail around the wad and flung it directly at Salem, completely covering her in the foul-smelling substance and making her look like some kind of mad or fire monster. However, she began to piece it together and realized what she was covered in. That beast just floated down at me. She shrieked in horror, before turning and flying out the window behind her, diving deep into one of the grim pools, hoping it would destroy all of the fecal matter covering her. Watts, Tyrion and Hazel had all recovered and were preparing to do great harm to the creatures before they suddenly disappeared. "TH, they're gone?" Tyrion questioned. "Thank goodness. Their scents were revolting. And as powerful as the grim pools are, I doubt they'll take care of that smell. Salem will likely reek for days. She won't be very happy about that." Watts groaned. "We never speak of this again. Agreed?" Hazel asked, to which the 2 nodded. Jacques huffed as he filed through some paperwork, just coming off of an argument with his wife over cutting off Weiss allowance. The argument ended after he struck his wife across the face and sent her off to continue her poor drinking habits. "What's this? More demands for those disgusting animals to get better quality treatment and higher pay? What do they think I am, made of money?" "Denied," he declared as he stamped that on the paper in question. Suddenly, a strange portal opened up in front of him. "What's on remnant?" he questioned, before a large, pink gorilla suddenly appeared through the portal. "What is this?" he demanded. The creature was panicked and looked around, noticing that it was in a decently sized room, but still relatively small for it, not leaving it with many places to go very far. This caused it to be anxious, which caused it to release a large burst of gas. It turned every direction, looking for some form of escape, but finding none, which continued to stress it out, which caused the gas to come out faster and faster. Soon, the air was visibly a yellowish green, and Jacques' eyes, and especially nose, were burning as he rushed towards the door, even making a daring move over the creature. However, as soon as he realized the door was somehow locked. "What? No. No. This can't be. I can't be trapped in here like this," he cried out, trying to do anything he could to breathe in the stink, lifting his shirt and holding it in over his nose, breathing in his own body odor instead. Thankfully, he did smell rather nice due to the absurd prices on which he spent for his soaps, shampoos, conditioners, etc. However, with the stink also came an overwhelming heat from the gas. Jacques tried to resist as long as he could, but soon found himself unable to tolerate the increased temperature and quickly stripped down, eventually leaving him in nothing but a white tank top and a pair of blue briefs with the Shi family symbol on them. However, he had finally realized something. Wait. What am I doing? The fan. He realized, hurrying over to his fan built into the vent for the express purpose of sucking the heat out of his office and elsewhere into the building, so his study stayed nice and cold. He quickly flipped the switch and sighed in relief as the heat and stench were being removed from his office. He also noticed that the gorilla had also disappeared. It looks like after that horrible experience, he once again hit the jackpot. Or rather, the jackpot. However, no sooner did he realize this than another portal opened and a large owl-like creature appeared. It then jumped and kicked and slammed down, sending a strange orange pollen into the air, which had then flapped its wings to send the pollen towards Jacques. He inhaled it and soon felt himself feeling rather loopy. Why? I feel wonderful. I feel free. Free as a bird. I can even fly. Flap, flap. Flutter, flutter. He declared, pretending to be a bird and run around his office, flapping his arms. This would go on for a few hours with him acting like several other animals, before he came back to his senses. However, what he wasn't aware of was the fact his wife had placed security cameras in all the rooms of the mansion, including his study, which had recorded everything he just did. So Willow, drunk and not in her right mindset, found the video hilarious and decided to post it online. The video rapidly gaining popularity to become the most watched thing on the internet. In the Branwyn Bandit camp, Raven flew over her base of operations in her, Raven form, watching the progress over her men. She decided that they were coming along well on their own and she need not interfere. Deciding she'd done enough patrolling, she flew down to her tent and returned to her human form, stepping in and quickly making her way to her bed, where she settled in and began to sleep. However, this wouldn't last long. Raven. She heard as Willow came rushing into her tent. She groaned at this. What? She asked, sitting up, before she saw the glowing red of fire outside her tent, accompanied by the screaming of her tribe. She quickly rushed out to see a sight that she couldn't believe, even after she'd seen everything with Ozpin. A massive, quadrupedal black dragon with large wings and strange horns on its head. It roared and began to somehow call lightning down from the sky with a wave of its heads, the horns sparking with electricity. It then moved in circles as it sprayed fire, with electricity around it. What was going on? Get some water on those tents. Everyone else, try to take this thing down. Shade D-Man ordered as he shot at the beast, but the bullet seemed to bounce off its top high. Several other bandits rushed in with machetes. The beast straight up broke when contact with the spikes on the monster's body. All of you, get back. I will handle this. Raven declared, using her maiden powers and trying to strike the beast with her own electricity, but it seemed to do nothing. In fact, it likely had the opposite effect from the desired one. As the creature now realized this was something that could pose a threat on its own, when combined with the weak, but numerous others she had at her disposal, it was now in danger. And an Elatrian that feels itself in danger will also feel the need to place judgment upon its current situation. Eschaton judgment. So it began creating a massive ice storm around itself, most of the camp seeming to freeze over from this, before it rose into the air and roared, creating a massive, superheated explosion that vaporized most of the camp and half the bandits in it. It then flew off proudly, before a portal opened in front of it, causing it to fly through and be removed from the world. Raven and Vernal popped out from the places they managed to hide behind and observed the destruction of their living arrangements. Our camp. Half our tribe. Just gone. She said as the two of them looked on in horror. Hardin Winchester was roaming through the ancient forest when he came upon a clearing with several rocks scattered in it. He then looked to the trees in front of the rocks and saw several woodland creatures just happily going about their lives. He then smirked, stepping on one of the rocks and rolling it back so his toes were just under it, allowing him to kick it into the air and send it flying into the trees with a swing of his mace, hitting some poor creature. Take that, squirrel. He taunted, before walking up to another rock and readying his mace like a golf club to hit the rock, wiggling his hips a bit, before whacking the rock into a higher tree branch, causing an explosion of feathers. Bye-bye, birdie. He gloated as he moved on to one final rock, which he picked up and tossed into the air, hitting it with his mace like a tennis racket, hitting something and causing a low-pitched growl. Nailed you, giant orange raptor thing. Animals are so stupid, he said, scratching his head with his mace. He then stopped and realized what he just said. Wait a minute. Giant orange raptor thing? He questioned, turning back and looking to the trees as a lot of slightly smaller orange raptors hissed at him as a larger one approached, growling with a welt on the back of its head, before it roared, ordering its pack to attack. And Iodrome and its pack of Oh, crap. Not again. Where's John when I need him? Hardin cried as he ran away, wishing his former bullying victim turned savior were here to either save him again or act as a neat shield while he escaped. Sadly, he tripped over a tree branch as he face planted, coming back just in time to see one of the raptors close up as they clawed and get away. Thankfully, his aura was protecting him, but it wouldn't help. He knew he had to do something, or else he'd die. Get off of me. He snapped, managing to grab his mace and smack away the one on top of him into the tree beside him. This rattled the tree and caused a large beehive to fall out of it, falling down and breaking on top of Cardin as he managed to force the raptors off and stand up, covering him and turning on the recent practicing the bees. He cried out, rushing through the forest as he tried to escape their stinging grasp. Fortunately, the bees had also driven off the raptors. After a while, he also lost the bees, but was too stupid to notice and kept running until he ran into a rather solid body mass. He fell onto his back and glared up at who or whatever he ran into. Hey, watch it, pal. He snapped, before gasping as the figure turned around to reveal itself, a red horse. It then looked down and noticed the boy before